So I'm sitting inside my own R230 SL and I'm about to show you how to replace the front lock cylinder using Top Hydraulics patented direct couplers. It's really simple and well, how did we get here? Obviously the headliner is removed already. To take the headliner off, you have to be able to open the top a little bit. If your hydraulic system doesn't work at all anymore, then you have to do that manually, which means you have to flip back the trunk lid. To do that, you unlock the two forward frame locks in the forward corners of the trunk, unlock those with a Torx T40, you flip back the trunk lid, then you use your 6mm Allen wrench through the plug in the headliner up here and turn your front lock. You open it by turning the Allen wrench a quarter turn clockwise, and at that point you can move the top back, put a spacer between the front of the top and the windshield header, like a big roll of paper towels or so, and now you have access to the various bolts around the headliner that you can then take off and you get to this position. And in this position now we're going to use a Torx T30 wrench to remove 1, 2, 3 bolts on the locking mechanism. The locking mechanism comes down a little bit, and that gives us access to 1, 2 mounting pins for the front lock cylinder. The mounting pins are fastened with M4 E-clips, so we pull the E-clips off the mounting pins. That allows us to take the front lock cylinder out of this black housing. Then we cut the hoses on the cylinder close through the plastic with a sharp, like a flush cutter, close to the metal fittings, cut the hoses, and then we push the hoses into Top Hydraulics direct couplers, fasten the compression nuts, and the hoses are thus refastened. With this method we lost about a ½ inch of hose on the of total hose length. That is not a big deal, although the hoses are routed fairly tightly here. We have on above the driver's left shoulder the bend where we can take the hoses out of one mounting clip here. If we take them out of this clip and we take a shortcut over here, we more than get the hose length back that we needed, and everything is good and safe. So let's show you in a few steps how we do this job. First we'll take the 2 E-clips off because the lock is still stationary and it's easier to deal with the E-clips. We simply put a small flat screwdriver behind the gap in these clips and slowly pull the E-clips off. Put them in a safe place. Same thing on the other side. Slow controlled motion and the clip does not go flying on you. If you lose it for good, these are M4, metric M4 clips. You can also go with 3/16 imperial size. Next we take off the 3 T30 Torx bolts for this sheet metal housing on the front latch assembly. Notice that the assembly, these bolts are actually in oblong holes, so even though you think you're putting the latch back into the exact position that it came from, it probably won't be. And we'll show you in the end how to do a little bit of alignment on the front lock so that it is centered properly, and the micro switches get the proper signal of the latch being closed or opened. Normally the bolts are held in place by little spaces behind them. The one on the left side kind of came out on me anyway. So now we can pull the latch down far enough to pull out the two mounting clip pins that we had previously pulled the clips out of. Here's the longer one, about 26 millimeters. Here's the shorter one in the front. That's a M6 by 12 pin, and it is out. Now I'm going to cut a couple of zip ties. Make sure you don't cut through the wires, of course. There we go. This gives us enough room to pull our cylinder out. There we go, the cylinder's out, and now comes the fun part of, well, first I'll put a paper towel under here. Then I use my sharp flush cutter, cut the original hose about 1/8 inch from the metal fitting. That's hose number 1. That's hose number 2. And just for clarification, there are numbers on these hoses if you're confused in the end. I mean, the length of the hoses will tell you already anyway, but it is number 30 towards the end of the cylinder, number 90 towards the shaft end of the cylinder. It hasn't even dripped on me, but better safe than sorry. Better have a paper towel ready. So now we just want to grab our replacement cylinder from Top Hydraulics, rebuilt with all new superior seals. Let's think about which one is the smarter to put on first. It doesn't make a difference. So let's do the rear one first. We unscrew the compression nut, put the compression nut on the hose. Make sure the hose cut is nice and clean, and there's no webbing going into this hose. And this cut is slightly off, so I will redo that. It just didn't feel like it wanted to go into the coupler smoothly, so I'll give it one more cut. And now there's just a tiny strand of webbing sticking out on the outside. That's not a big deal. So this goes to show you that it's important to have sharp, clean cutters. We position the hose in the coupler and we push and twist, and we can see how far the hose is actually going in. You can tell in the end when it bottoms out. We've pushed it in not quite a ½ an inch. We hand tighten this nut, this compression nut. We hold the coupler sleeve and we tighten the compression nut until it bottoms out. Looks a little bit awkward because I'm trying not to get my hands in the way of the camera. The nut has bottomed out. This is a tight connection, and we do the same thing on the front hose. We examine the cut. This one, it's not super clean either, so I will redo it. That looks better. Squeeze it a little bit to make it round. Put the compression nut on the hose first. Push the hose into the coupler. Twist and push. fasten the nut. It's all bottomed out. Now I position the whole thing back into the lock, and remember that the hoses are pointing forwards towards the front of the car. The rod end of the cylinder has one open side, and that open side needs to face the rear of the car, otherwise the lock won't be able to open all the way. So we reinsert the cylinder into the locking mechanism. Oops. While I have this one lined up, I'll get my upper mounting pin into place. Now it's not lined up perfectly anymore, so I'll wiggle the cylinder with my screwdriver until the pin goes in all the way. There we go, we got it. We put our circlip back on. Nice controlled motion. Then we get our M6x12 mounting pin, and we line up the front of the cylinder, which is the rod end, with the two arms from the front locking mechanism. So here I have inserted the pin into the top of the rod end. Now I'm going to use my screwdriver to line up the two arms. Now we have the pin through all the way. What came out while I was moving the lock around is these spacers that go between the black mounting frame and the bolts that the spacers had previously held the bolts in place, but once I wiggled too much they came down. So now I'll take my Torx T30 I don't quite fasten this down all the way yet. Let's make sure the hoses don't get pinched. Here's my second spacer that came out. So I'll line that up. And there we go. That's lined up with the hole. Put the bolt on the Torx T30. And there we are, almost fastened all the way. That leaves the last one, should pop right into place. Push this last E-clip into place. One trick to not having it fly is putting a dab of grease at the rod end here at the surface that the clip is sliding on. That makes the E-clip stick in case you have a tool slipping. But we'll take our chances, just push it in, and there we go, it is in place. Now the last trick here is alignment of the front lock. As you know, the front lock gets manually open and closed with a 6mm Allen wrench. I have here a Torx T40 that works as well, and as you know, turning clockwise would open the latch, where we turn clockwise, let's say 45 degrees, and you see that the lock is moving around in its slots. Now when we turn counterclockwise all the way and tighten the latch, that aligns the front lock just right for us to fasten the bolts, and all the micro switches will now automatically give the proper signal. We know we have the front lock properly aligned. Now all we need to do is tighten a few more zip ties and put our trim piece back on, and we're ready to go after filling the pump in the trunk. Ta-da!